We saw where Bhagwan Krishna and his friends, they went out into the forest. And as they went out into the forest, what will happen? They started feeling hungry and they went in search of food. And so in a distance, they started to smell the smoke of the Hawan. And so they thought that because the smell was filling the atmosphere, in a place where the smell was coming from, that place will surely have food. So they made their way to that place. But the holy people were sitting and they were performing the Yagna. And so the holy people sitting along with their wives and performing the Yagna, Lord Krishna, he requested food. And so they chased him away. Chasing him away, what will happen? The wives got up. And what they will do? They took the vessels containing the food and they gave it to Krishna and his friends. The men folk were angry already for being disturbed from praying. And so the women folk wondered if they could get more vex. Were you ever angry and get more angry? Were you ever vexed and get vexera? Huh? Is there any such thing? You're angry, you are angry. Not more angry, not less angry. You are angry, you are angry. And so Bhagwan Krishna, what will happen? The Leela continues. The Leela of Krishna continues. Krishna, he's a child, he's playing and he's in the veranda. What is the veranda? What is the veranda? In song, in bhajan, in scripture, in Sanskrit, veranda is Angana. Aao mere Angana, Durga Bhavani. Please come. Come to my home, but come through the front door. This is what you're saying. Come through the front. Because the veranda is always in the, well, supposed to be in the front. But because of your geographic location and the land and different things, it may vary. But you say, please come, but come through the front. Come through the front and ward away all negative energies. And so Bhagwan Krishna, he's sitting in the veranda. But in a distance, he's hearing a bean calling. She's the Pal Walia. Pal means fruit. Walia means the salesperson. The fruit salesperson. And she has a basket on top of her head. You remember in time gone by, everybody had a market basket. You all remember that? Can you remember? Some people will hold a basket in their hand. Some people will hug the basket up. And some people will put the basket on top of their head. Have you ever seen that before? She has a basket of fruits on top of her head. And Krishna, hearing her coming in a distance, you know what he does? Krishna begins to scream from the veranda. Ek pal de do na, ek pal de do na. Can you give to me one fruit? Ek pal de do na. Can you please give me one fruit? Ever saw the little child when the ice cream van is passing? Ever saw the little child when the snow cone man is passing? Huh? As children, when we were growing up, we were happy when the snow cone man will pass. Yesterday, in our 2 o'clock session, Cindy, in our 2 o'clock session yesterday, we had snow cone. Everybody had snow cone, not just snow cone. Snow cone with what? Oh. You never had good childhood days if you never ate condensed milk and bread. You never had good childhood days if you never ate powder milk and Milo mixed together. You never had good childhood days if you didn't teeth the condensed milk. It tastes better when you teeth it, isn't it? And here we are calling Lord Krishna thief when we too stole. When we too stole away. And so what will happen? It says, having the basket of fruits on her head, she's walking through the entire place. But Krishna catches her attention. What will happen? Krishna Kanaiya, Krishna Kanaiya, 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 Kanaiya Hare. Krishna Kanaiya, Krishna Kanaiya, 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 Kanaiya Hare. Krishna Kanhaiya, Krishna Kanhaiya, 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 Kanhaiya Re.
Oh Krishna Kanhaiya, Krishna Kanhaiya, 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 Kanhaiya Re.
Ek pal dero na. The basket is full and he's begging for one fruit. You and I, we have plenty, but how much are we willing to give or share? How much are you willing to part with? You're willing to give people who are willing to help themselves, isn't it? But you're not willing to help people who just cry themselves down all the time. You should not be foolish, you should be intelligent. God helps those who first try to help them. Look at the person next to you and ask them, how are you? Look at the person next to you and ask them, you know what time it is? Ask them. Tell them it's Bhagwat time. Tell them. Tell them it's Bhagwat time. Ask them now for me. Are you a charitable being? Ask them. Are you charitable? Or you're a little stingy? Ask them. Ask them. Don't be afraid. Ask them. It says, she stops, and as she stops and she takes the basket down from her head and she puts it on the ground, Krishna rushes to the basket and he opens the cover and he looks at her, and with a smile that he's giving her, he has already mesmerized her heart. But she sums up her courage to speak. Do you know some people have no summing up to do, they just bold face. Actually, let me change that. They brass face. They have no summing up to do. They have no conscience. They don't care. Anything they want, they're just free to open their mouth and ask. Anybody who knows me, anybody who knows me, and let me change that. Anybody who knows anything about me knows that I am the last person asking you for anything. I expect you to know on your own. I am not going to tell. I am not going to demand. I am not going to say you have to. I am not. And if there is a need, I'll have to shine up my courage. Then to ask. Krishna, you know what he does? Krishna goes to the basket, he's smiling, and she sums up her courage and she looks at the child and she says, I'm not giving away, no. I am selling. I'm not giving away. He said, no problem, I'm coming back. He rushes into the veranda and he goes into the box with the dhan. You all know what is dhan? What is dhan? There is a difference with dhan and dhan. Dhan is wealth. Dhan is money. What is dhan? Dhan is rice. He goes into the box of rice and he takes up a handful of rice. But he's a child, huh? Think about what is going to happen. Think about what is going to happen with the handful of rice. Krishna Kanhaiya, Krishna Kanhaiya, 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 Kanhaiya Re.
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 Every footstep he makes, some of the rice falling. By the time he reaches to her, he has few grains in his hand. But you see, he's doing it with grace. He's smiling. He's a child. And you consider the children to be? You consider the children to be what? What's the word? Innocent. You consider the children to be innocent, isn't it? That's why when the children grow up and they pass, they're in their teens, you still think that they're popo. You stop supervising their phone and you stop supervising their company and you stop supervising anything because you think the popo innocent. Huh? And then bam, you see on Facebook popo whining in some kind of function and you say where this was, and popo make up an excuse, but you see in your mind it's popo and innocent. So you say, oh, I saw it, and you're convinced. The popo have a way to convince you. Aji, buy me an iTunes card now. I need 500 US. That's a little bit. Aji say, go and ask Aja. Aja say, go back by Aji. Aji have the money. Will you buy it? Will you not buy it? The child come and say, I need it for school. That's what they say, I need it for school. You buy anything. It says, he presents the few grains of rice to her, but she accepts this not in a basket, in her urani. She collects it in her urni, and so placing it in her urni, she then empties it into her basket. When you give this Seetahal, when you have a puja at home, and the Baba gives you back some grains, where does he put it? And where do you put it? See where that came from? See where that philosophy came from? And listen to why, Auntie Angie. Listen to why. She takes her basket and she's about to pick it up, and Krishna smiles. But by the time she's ready to take up her basket, he took his dhoti and emptied all the fruits inside of his dhoti. And now her basket is empty. She has nothing in her basket. If you were her, what would you have done? If you were her, what would you have done? Sharon, if you were her, what would you have done? You don't know? Shana, what would you have done? Sintra, what would I do? Take it back from the little child. Huh? You know what she did? She put her basket on her head with grace. Empty basket. She know it empty, but she's still going to the market and she have nothing to sell. Sometimes in life you get confused. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it. You have no clue. And as she places the basket on her head and she's going, you know what happened? All she can think about is a smile of Krishna. All she can think about is a smile. Turn to the person next to you and smile. What kind of smile is that? Give them a real smile. Turn to them and smile. Sharon. Nuts. Smile. Smile with each other. And then smile with her. Oh. All she can remember is this smile. And remembering this smile, every time she remembers the smile, she smiles. And so remembering the smile and smiling like she's, what's the word? Pagal. You ever remember something and start to laugh hard? And everybody say, will you remember? And you say, nah, you don't worry. I can't tell you. If I tell you, I can't tell you. That's something I can't tell you. And so, going down the road, she's singing. Krishna Kanaiya, Krishna Kanaiya, 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 Kanaiya Re.
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 But she has a problem. The light empty basket has become so unbearable now on top of her head that by the time she reaches to the market, all she wants to do is put the basket down. And as she places the basket down on the ground and she opens the basket, lo and behold, the entire basket is overflowing with gems and pearls and jewelry. And she wonders, what kind of jadoo is this? I gave away my fruits, and now here I am receiving gems. That's why you put the green in your cupboard, so that Bhagwan will multiply the food in your home. But when you get the dal, or you get the bean, or you get the rice from your Baba, you're supposed to cook from it, and you're supposed to keep back some. Long ago, the Baba will burst the bag and give you a few rice grains, just like Krishna gave a few rice grains. Huh? But you can't cook few rice grains. So now they give you a substantial amount. But when you're cooking it, what do you cook it with? Hello, everybody went silent. When you're cooking it, what do you cook it with? Do you cook it Sunday lunch? Bigfoot jumping? How do you cook it? It is holy, it is blessed, it is sanctified, it is sacred, and so it should be treated as this. Tonight I want to tell you that food is holy, sacred, and sanctified. Food is a blessing. Tell the person next to you, food is a blessing. Tell them. And that's why before you eat your food, you're supposed to offer it to Bhagwan, to God. That's before you eat your food, you're supposed to bow to the food. Give thanks to Bhagwan. Thank you, Bhagwan, for blessing me with food. But you get down in the food and you eat and you eat and you eat. Long ago, in the puja, before anybody will eat, they will give thanks to Bhagwan. And they will offer some of the food in the fire. You all remember that? The old lady will say, I'm going to lagawe bhog. Have you ever heard that before? And they will take a ghee pan. You all know the ghee pan? That time is not ghee no more, it's ghee. They take the ghee pan and they go behind and they offer some of the food into the... In our home, it is a tradition that we don't offer the salt food, but we offer a little bit of the roti and some sweet rice and some ghee. And this is what we offer into the fire before everybody eat. And the food will have what is called barkat. You all ever hear that word before? Barkat? What does barkat mean? What does barkat mean? The food will never run out. It will have more than, not less than, more than. And so, what will happen? She couldn't believe what had happened. She couldn't believe. But she kept her blessing a secret. Listen to what the Katha says. The Katha says she kept her blessing as a... Say that word with me. She kept her blessing as a... There's some things you have to keep to yourself. You can't tell everybody. Actually, there are many things you should keep to yourself and not tell everybody. And so, keeping this a secret, what will happen? Lord Brahma in the heavens recognized all of the leelas that was happening. And so, seeing the power, he was convinced that Lord Krishna was an avatar of Lord Vishnu. As though he wasn't sure, he was convinced now. And so, being convinced, he decided to test Lord Krishna. He decided to test Lord Krishna. What will he do? Listen, the Katha tells us. Bolo Sri Seetahal, 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 Jai Siyavar Ram. Bolo
Seetahal, 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 Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
भगवंत ब्रह्मा कृष्णा ने ही दिव्य शक्ति रूपा नेकन जंगल दे दे के साथ देकर भोजा। बोलो सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम।
सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम।
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम।
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम।
भगवन ब्रह्मा देहि कृष्णा सात सती का गयो सोनी कर्मा वाणी पीड़िता देकर मनुष्य दूजा। बोलो सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम।
सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम।
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम।
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम।
Lord Brahma appeared. He appeared close to this place where Lord Krishna was. And Lord Krishna will spend all of his times in the company of the cow and his friends. What kind of friends do you have? All we have are memories of the past. True or not? Not miseries from the past. All we have is memories of the past. Some might be misery. Some of your experience might not have been pleasant ones, but you have memories of those things. And because you have memories of those things, they help you to enjoy the now. They prepare you and they have taught you the lesson of how not to make the same mistake again. Bhagwan Krishna is keeping the company of his friend. What is the most fun thing you ever did with your friends when you were growing up? Hello? What is the most fun thing you ever did with your friends in your childhood? Ask the person next to you, what you do? Ask them, what you do? Papa, ask Mama. What you do? Ask her. What is the most outstanding memory of your experiences with your friends as an adult? Hello? What is your most outstanding memory when you are an adult with the friends that you have? One that stands out. I don't know about you, Anywhere I go, I have fun, Anywhere I go, you tell me to do something, I doing just that, Don't sit down here, I ride it. Boop. Or this chair, you mean don't sit down on? Just last year, we had the privilege of having a group time out. And if you know me, I am not staying in my room alone. So I am visiting everybody's room. I'm like a bhoot parming. And when I go into Dave and Cindy's room, I see in their room they have an ocean view and jacuzzi, and I don't have that in mine. But what I see, they have a gigantic horse. From the time I saw the horse, I got a stool and I jump up on the horse. And they look at me, they say, look, monkey on horse. And I said to them, no, take a picture, take a picture. And after they take the picture, I say, well, now help me come down. But you see, the thing is, all we have of that is memories. All we have of that is the memories. And every time you remember the enjoyable, pleasurable moments in that, you smile. There was something to enjoy all the time. There was somebody to enjoy all the time. Some people leave home the gym shoe not to go in the gym. And when the husband knows, go secretly and buy a shoe. Some people get up after you come from the gym to pretend they're now going to the gym after they eat breakfast. You remember that? But you have memories. You remember. Krishna is spending time with his friends. You know what is his memory? His memory is how all of them, they started tying their pot up in the ceiling so that they wouldn't reach it. Listen to what his memory is. And to get up there, they had to stand on each other's back and create a ladder to climb. And when they get up on top there, Krishna will dip his hand, lick first, and then pass his juta hand down for everybody else to lick. Husband don't want to drink from the same glass as his own wife. Children don't want to drink from the same cup as their mother and father. In kindergarten, everybody drinking from the same chubby. You all know? Can you all remember that? I was a child when chubby just came out. Well, chubby was the thing. I carrying a banana one for breakfast and a red one for lunch. And I coming home to drink a grape one. Now you could understand why I was really chubby. Huh? But you're sharing and everybody drinking from the same bottle. Now if you have to drink from a bottle, you're studying juta. It brings me to a point. In puja, you never want to offer something that is juta to Bhagwan. Is that true or not? You never want to offer something that is juta to Bhagwan. True or not? I can't hear you. Is that true or no? True. You never want to offer anything that is juta. Do we really practice that? Do we really practice that? Hello? Do we really practice that? Let me show you an example. We're going to do the puja. So we have the lotus of water. And there is a leaf like this inside of it. In every puja, you all remember seeing that? And then the Baba say, wash your hand, pavitra, pavitrava, sarva vastam gatopiva. And then the Baba say, sip the water. And he say, Keshavaya. And then he say, Madhavaya. And then he say, Madhu Sundanaya. And then he say, wash your hand again. And then you dry your hand and you put on the ring and you get your raksha and you get your chandan. And then he say, put your hand together and chant the invocation. And then he say, offer water and wash Bhagwan foot. Where the water coming from? Ain't you just taste that water? Didn't you just drink from this very same vessel that you're offering to Bhagwan? That's why every single day when I sat here, I never sipped any water from my vessel. I washed my hand, but I never sipped any of the water from my vessel that I was going to offer with. And if you noticed, when I was doing the puja, that's what I did. But you see, we are convenient and selective. The little baby can't eat the kurma because God have to get it. But you drink the water before you offer it to Bhagwan. What makes this right and that wrong? What makes that wrong and this right? I am just asking for Uncle Buddheva. He tell me to ask. What makes it right? What makes it wrong? Krishna. You know what happens? Omati? Krishna. You know what happens? He's with his friends and Lord Brahma appears in that place disguised. But Lord Brahma creates an illusion and he makes the cows and Krishna's friends disappear. He locked them away into a cave where they cannot be found. And locking them away in the cave, he's observing Krishna. But he sits there and sits there and sits there and sits there. And sitting there, he becomes bored because nothing is happening. All Krishna is doing is playing his flute and nothing is happening. I'm becoming bored. What will happen? Listen. Bolo Seetahal, 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 Jai Siyavar Ram. Clap your hands.
Seetahal, 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 Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jai Siyavar Ram.
देखह पूता चलता रूपा भगवान कृष्ण रूपा जान हो देखा देखी स्वरूपा बिनका देकर ब्रह्मा बोलो सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम
सीताराम 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 जय सियावर राम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम
राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय सियावर राम.
Brahma, he nods away for a little. And as he nods away for a little, you know what happens? At that time, Bhagwan Krishna, he quickly brings back his friends and the cows and everybody, and as normal. And as Lord Brahma opened his eyes, he saw them there. And he couldn't figure out what was happening. Because he tried to prevent Krishna from enjoying the company of his friends and the cows. This is what made him happy. I want to tell you that many a times when beings recognize you are happy and they know the source from which your happiness comes, they try to create problems in your life. Is that true or not? Hello, when you're in Yagna, don't lie. Is that true or not? Sometimes when you know others are happy and you know that there is something that is making them happy, you, because of envy, try to do something as well. True or not? Hello, is that true or not? Your friends become envious when they think that you have new friends. True or not? Hello, true or not? When you and your girl don't lie, talk the truth. Amy, is that true? Amy, is that true? Oh. Amy saying yes with... Yes. Brahma opens his eyes and recognizing that Lord Krishna has figured what is happening. Immediately Lord Brahma, Danvat Karo, he falls to the feet of Krishna. And falling to the feet of Krishna, what will happen? Lord Krishna just smiles. And all he's doing is playing the basuri. I want you to give thought. I want you, Dave, take a look at Lord Ganesh. Is there a weapon in his hand? The axe is in the hand of Lord. Is that a weapon? Look at Lord Hanuman. Take a look at Lord Hanuman. Everybody, look at Lord Hanuman. Is there a weapon in his hand? What is the weapon called? Look at Lord Vishnu. We're looking at the males. Look at Lord Vishnu. He's on this side. Does he have a weapon? Look at Lord Shiva. Even the eulogy, the bhajan that glorifies Lord Shiva, you know what it says? Trishuldara Shiva Trishuldara, Trishuldara Shiva Trishuldara, Gauri Priya Shankara, Shiva Gauri Priya Shankara, O Shiva Hare Gauri Priya Shankara, Shiva Shiva Shiva. It says, even Lord Shiva has a weapon, isn't it? What's the weapon of Lord Shiva? Trishul. What's the weapon of Krishna? Look at Krishna. What is his weapon? What is the weapon of Lord Krishna? Look at him. Where is the weapon? Listen to the keyboard. Listen. What is the weapon of Lord Krishna? He has no weapon. All he has is charm. That's all he has. All he has is charm. That's what he has. His charm will bring calm. That's what it does. His charm brings calm. The name of Bhagwan can be compared to different things. Do you know? Ram, Nam. If you have to compare Shri Ram to something, what is it? Because the name Ram, if you have to compare Ram to something, what will it be? Some parsa that you offer. When you're doing Hanuman Puja, you don't say Hanuman Puja, you say we're doing what? Rot. Rot is the parsad of Lord Hanuman. If you have to compare the name Ram to some parsad, what will it be? Nigel, what will it be? If you have to compare Lord Krishna and his name to some kind of parsad, what will it be? Huh? What will it be? Let me tell you what it is. Ram Naam Laddo Gopal Naam Gi Hari Naam Misri Tu Bol Bol. You ever hear that before? Ram Naam Laddo Gopal Naam Gi. Ram Naam is like Laddo. When you call the name of even the parsad, you're calling God's name. Did you know that? When you call even the name of parsad, you're calling God's name. That's why a manifestation of Lord Vishnu was Kurma avatar. When you have the puja, you say I'm making Kurma, isn't it? But in 2023, you say you're making Kumar. But even Kurma is a name of Bhagwan Vishnu. Every prasad that we offer, once you call the name, is as though you're calling the name of Bhagwan. Did you give thought to that? Lord Brahma, who is the God of creation, he's forced to bow to Lord Krishna in humility. You and I, we must recognize that humility is the doorway to success. Humility is the doorway to mukti, to liberation. You and I have to recognize that we must be able to fit in anywhere, anytime. And just in case we recognize that we don't fit in, what you have to do? What you have to do? You have to do a little adjustment. And last night I showed the jackets. You all saw it? There are many people who came to me and they say, well, I didn't like that jacket. Well, I want to tell you, that's the reason I had to show you. Because not every lesson that is taught you will like. Some they're very applicable to you, and some they're not. But anytime you get offended, it means that some kind of checking has to be done. Some kind of correction has to be done. We can look at it another way. Dave got sling up in a jacket. You all remember? He was like, but that very same jacket, if you take the time to tailor it, it is going to fit him properly, isn't it? And everything comes and happens with time, but in the right time. Everything happens with time, but only in the right time. And the right time is always God's time. So tell the person next to you, everything happens, but in the right time. Tell them. And tell them for me again, the right time is always God's time. Tell them.